For the gram stain you want to wear gloves because you're handling crystal violet and other things. You take a slide and you label where you want to put your cultures. You can have 2 cultures on one slide or more. And then label it which organism is on which side. Then you take a sterile loop and take a drop of water and then you touch your culture just a tiny little bit and mix it with a drop of water. You do the same thing for the other culture. By the time you mix the culture in the water, your smear should almost be ready and dry if you take a small drop. You can see that both of these cultures are pretty much dry, and then you can fixate it in the methanol. The reason why we put it in the methanol is so that the bacteria get glued to the slide. So try not to get the color of the clip into the methanol. Let it sit. Take your slide out of the methanol. Put it back on the staining tray. And it's best to have your reagent in order. So first you'd add crystal violet, then you mix it with a mordant iodine. You decolorize it with ethanol, and then you add saffron as counterstain. Then you use immersion oil to view it under the 100x lens. So after the slide is fixed in the methanol, you flood it with crystal violet and let it sit for 1 minute. Then you mix it with the iodine. You can tip it off. Just mix the crystal violet with the iodine, which forms a complex which retains in the gram-positive bacteria but gets washed out in the gram-negative bacteria. So after the iodine and crystal violet have formed a complex, you decolorize your slide with decolorizer. And you put dropwise decolorizer until no color comes off. Briefly rinse it with water. And then you add the saffron as the counter stain. You rinse your slide finally and then dry it to see it under the microscope. Put in bibulous paper and dry off your slide. To use the oil immersion, you start focusing your slide at the 10x. You go to the 40x, don't use oil, and then you swing it between the 40 and 100x You add a drop of oil immersion to your culture, to your stain. No glass slide needed. Cover slide. And then you swing it into the 100x. So the 100x lens will touch the oil and on the slide. You may have to add some more light and use the fine focus only because it's part focal and you can see a gram stain. This is gram-positive cocci and it's an example of Staphylococcus aureus. The second stain I have on the slide was a gram-negative organism. It's sometimes a bit hard to find. And you can see here gram-negative organisms in pink, and I used E. coli, which is a pink rod, which you can see here. After you're finished with your gram stain, go back to the 410X, remove your slide, use some lens paper to clean off the lens, the 100X lens, and wipe over the microscope if there's any other damage. That's it.